Good evening, it's Brian here at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this car here. This is a 2019 1.6 diesel Smart Plus Honda Civic, but this one is a 9-speed auto. I'm really excited about these cars. This is such a nice car to drive in this 9-speed gearbox. So Brian is my name. If there's any information you want on this particular car, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, 086 843 1945. I want to show you how this car drives. It's such a nice car to drive. For years and years, the Honda Civic has been coming into Ireland in a manual diesel, but we were always lacking an automatic version. But in late 2018 then, this was launched, which was the automatic version of that car. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 6-speed gearbox is really sweet in the manual version already, but the only thing about this is, in the 9-speed auto, it actually feels like a completely different car. It's the exact same power, but the way the 9-speed gearbox is able to access the power, it delivers it completely different. It feels like a much quicker car accelerating, and then you get that lazy boy comfort of not having to use your left arm or your left leg. So this particular example was actually part of our own fleet, and it's now for sale at a discounted price. So throughout this video, what we're going to do is have a look at the features on the outside of this car, and then we're going to have a drive in the car, and we're going to see what it's like on the inside also. So starting off on the front of the car, the first thing you see is it is a really cool looking shape. It's really aggressive, and the black and the red goes really well together. Other cool things on the front of the car include there is front fog lights, because this is a Smart Plus model. This is a radar we're going to talk about in a while with lots of different features in it. Daytime running lights run down through here. I love the side repeaters on the side in through here, and these headlights are automated, which means at night time they actually come on themselves, and when you go into an unlit area they go full, and then when they meet traffic they actually go dim. This Smart Plus model also has automatic window wipers, which has a sensor up here so they come on when it rains, and it's also got collision mitigation, which means under 32 kilometers an hour, if you are about to impact an object, this car senses you haven't hit the brakes, it's going to hit the brakes for you. So the engine in these cars is that super trusty 1.6 Earth Dreams engine. As we're going to see in a while, it's a load of fun to drive because it's a 1.6 diesel engine with 120 horsepower, but it actually develops 300 Newton meters of torque. That works really well with this 9-speed gearbox, so we'll see in terms of acceleration. And road tax for the year is €190. Other features as well at the front of the car, because this is a Smart Plus model, parking sensors are standard up front. As with all Hondas, the key has got pretty cool functionality, so you can actually turn on the lights using the key, and we can also retract the windows. Similarly, the same applies then when we want to retract the windows as well as the wing mirrors. So this particular car is finished in what's called a Rally Red. Rally Red is one of the halo colours in the car. If you look at all the brochures, this is the colour that it comes in. And I think it's easy to see why. It's a really nice looking colour. The black contrast on the front grills, and you'll see in a while on the rear grills, go well with the black wheels and also the privacy rear glass. So moving around to the back of the car, there is parking sensors which are standard on the rear of the car. And just like the side and the front of the vehicle, it's also got those black grills built into the bumper. Taillights are pretty cool as well, because they are a nice LED, and one thing I will say about these cars, you're driving behind one of these at night time on a motorway, it's such a distinctive shape, because you just see those two big tail lamps in the back, and you can see the little side marker up on the left hand side. It's a very distinctive shape, and I think that's a good thing. And just for style up high, there is a black spoiler along through here, and there's also a colour-coded roof spoiler up through there. So while they're neat looking, they're also designed to drag air down and out of the back in the most aerodynamic way possible. As it now gets a little bit darker in the evening, I might show you the inside of the car when it brightens up in the morning. In the meantime though, we're going to go for a bit of a drive. I want to show you this really cool 9-speed gearbox. So sitting in the car, from my point of view, if I want to select gears, this is how I do it. I've got a park button, which means I park. I've got a reverse button to go backwards. I've got neutral, and then I've also got a drive function in here, which I can also change into a sport function. You'll see me talk about things like paddles, which allow me to go up through the gears, or similarly on the left hand side I can also go down through the gears. I mean, you don't have to do this, but it just adds driving pleasure. I find sometimes you want to manipulate the gears to get up and down through the gears a little bit quicker and just get involved in it. But in fairness, I would imagine for most people they're just going to want to cruise in the car in a nice comfortable fashion. So if we want to go for a drive, as we saw, park was here. I'm going to press D and I'm just going to go, and that's pretty much it. Steering is rake reach, so I can go up, down, in, out. This seat is obviously height adjustable that I'm in, and I've got good lumbar support. We'll see that in a minute, but I just love the acceleration in it. Pulling out onto the road, nothing's coming. I'm in normal D at the moment, and if I just floor it, there's so much more torque. Acceleration wise, I'm just going to show you here, we are literally starting off from 0. I'm going to go into S to be a little bit more aggressive. Floor it from 0, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, a bit longer, that's 100 kilometers an hour. This is how it feels to drive the car. So these are paddles, obviously, as we were saying, up and down through the gears, in along through there, and hopefully then I can show you from the clock there how the car accelerates. So nothing coming. Just going to floor the car. Okay, we're doing about 12 kilometers an hour, but and I can just manipulate the gears myself using the paddles. But what's also cool about it, if you're driving along like this and you know you're cruising or whatever, it's the kick down. You floor the car, it just pulls along so well. These cars sit lovely in the road because the Civic is really wide, so it actually has a lovely stance, so you always feel really confident in one of these cars. It's quite wide, it doesn't really pitch and move around too much. They're a sweet car to drive, don't take my word for it, come try it yourself. This is a sweet car to drive. Gearbox works really well. And really, I am normally somebody that always liked a manual gearbox. Automatic wasn't usually my thing, but you know what? If I had a choice between the two of them, and the way we have these ones priced at the moment, because if we have a manual one and an automatic one, I think I'd be going with the auto. Nice combination. And what would be my combination? Combination of fun driving, but also a combination of just pure comfort where you don't want to do much work. So unfortunately, as the light fades, I'm going to wait till tomorrow to show you around the inside of the car because it's just getting too dark. So morning has come and it has brightened up, but guess what? The wind is blowing, so I'm going to try and avoid that. Anyway, this is the size of the boot. The boot is really big in the Civics, and what I really love about them is, it's only I noticed when I started using them myself and going on holidays, you pull that back, what a large, wide load area you have. And then if you want, it's dropped forward very easily, and you basically end up with a car-style van very easily. Moving down to the side, usual stuff in here like electrics for windows, child locks over through here, and then in terms of the rear seating we have 3 head restraints, 3 3-point safety belts, ISOFIX over here, ISOFIX over there, armrest in through the centre. And sitting inside the car, this is the amount of space I'm going to have. So it is a low car to the ground in terms of the roof because it's really stylish, but actually the headroom's pretty good. And then after that, in terms of the amount of legroom I'm going to have, if you see down in through here, it's quite reasonable. And as I'm sitting in the back of the car, this is the type of view that I can see around me. In terms of audio, there's a speaker here and there's also a tweeter in through here, so the stereo is actually quite good. Moving up front, electrics for windows and mirrors in through here. There is aluminium pedals, and after that then we have our front and rear park sensors, collision mitigation, lane departure warning. So the collision mitigation, under 32 kilometers an hour, if you don't hit the brakes and the car senses something has stopped in front of you, it's going to try and stop you. And the lane departure warning, all it does when you're driving along, it will vibrate the steering if you drift over the white line. So in terms of point of view, this is exactly what you're going to see in front of you. There is automatic wipers we talked about, and there is automatic lights that we talked about already. On the steering wheel over here then we have cruise control with a speed limiter. So the cruise control is radar, which means if the car in front of you slows down, you slow down also as well without you having to do anything. And if we said already there's a lane change warning, well it's also got a lane keep assist. So one of them literally warns you if you drift out of lane, whereas this one actively tries to keep you within the lanes. On the left hand side of the steering wheel then we have controls for our IMID, which is average speed, fuel efficiency, all that kind of information. Up through here it actually tells you the speed signs in terms of speed and no overtaking. As we look off to our left then we have the second generation of Honda Connect, which we're going to start up here. And while we're doing that then this is our climate functions, so it's all touch and swipe, quite easy to use, and it looks quite stylish as well. And looking closer then we have navigation, which is Garmin, and after that though a lot of people are going to use what's called a smartphone connection, which is going to be Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which basically means you can start using things like Google and Google Maps. Other functions then basically are, it's touch and swipe, it's very much like an Android mobile phone. Down here the big thing in this car, the gearbox, drive, neutral, reverse, park, so easy to use, automatic park brake, econ functions and auto stop start. And then in through here we also have, oops, need to hoover that, we have USB connectors, and then down low, a little bit awkward where they are, but there is more USB connectors. The car is literally come in, and when I say literally come in, so I literally gave it the quickest wash and hoover ever, so it does need to be clean and detailed properly. Anyway, that is our automatic 9-speed Honda Civic. So if there's any information you want on this particular car, please do give me a shout. Brian is my name, Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. We can do trade-ins, we can do finance, and it's a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. So hopefully this cool car is of interest, and thanks for taking time to watch.